Hi, welcome to my channel. Tonight Gets Creative. Here I am with another project. I found this crazy old purse of my mother's. And I was gonna throw it out. Or not throw it out, but donate it. And then I'm like, no, why don't I cover it and turn it into a project bag? So that's what we're gonna do. I want to take this off because I think this is going to be very tricky to cut through. And of course I have my mom's giant scissors. I don't have my little tiny scissors. I want to remove that. So let me hit pause for a second. Or actually, no, I'll just leave it go. I'm going to run, grab my tiny scissors, and I'll be right back. Here we go. Tiny little scissors. Let's get this off here because if I cover this up, this is going to be tricky to try to sew through, so I don't want that to be a surprise. So let's unstitch this thing first. There we go. Perfect. Almost there. This thing off because I certainly don't want to try to put things on here and hit that all of a sudden. There we go. I don't know if this is something that I'll want to put back on, but you know what I'll do? I'll just hold on to it for now, and that can be a decision that I make later because I'm sure I could just sew through the holes that are already there if I do choose to put it on, but I'm leaning towards probably not putting it on, but I'll just put it inside for now. There we go. What a color change underneath, my goodness. No idea how old this purse is, but it's a perfect project bag when you're on the go. Like I need another project bag, but that's okay. Anyway, I'll just stick it inside. There's a little pocket here. I'll just stick her inside there. Okay. And then my thought is just to collage on it, and I just want to keep it neutral. So I found this in my mom's stash. Cute little flowers. And I found this one in my mom's stash. Kind of picks up that burgundy color, sort of. And then I just tea stained some material. I have some general white, just to put a little bit of white in there to bring in some of the whites that you see there. And then I have some doilies that maybe I can stick one on there somewhere. So yeah, that's my plan. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rip some of the material into bits, and then I will just start laying it down. I'm not sure what this project was for, but my mom was cutting something out of it. Maybe she was making some sort of craft clothing or something. Who knows? She did a lot of sewing in her day, so. The problem might be is this green. Am I gonna see this green? Oh, I am. I'm gonna see the green through it. Well, maybe not once I stitch it down and overlap colors. And challenge is going to be on the edges too a little bit, so I'm going to have to overlap a little bit. I do want to make sure that I turn my edge over at the top too when I do it. I'm leaning more towards doing bigger chunks of material. When I say bigger, like a big one like this, so that I have more bigger chunks than I do a bunch of little ones. So I'm gonna do a little bit of this on camera with you. I'll, you know, collage a little bit here. But I think if you're anyone who's been doing slow stitching for a while, you already know how to do collaging part. So I don't want to bore you to death. And then, like I said, the edge will have to work on overlapping it. So what I'm going to try to do is just do the front section first, stitch it down, and then move on to the back section. So let's cut another bigger chunk of this. And let's get it laid down. Kind of got some weird shape to it, this one, but let's turn it into some sort of rectangular shape of sorts. I like to work with rectangular shapes. When I'm slow stitching, I like to do the rectangles. If I'm just doing like a crazy quilt or something, then I don't really matter. It doesn't really matter to me what the shape looks like then, because I guess hence the title, crazy quilting. You can have any shape you want it to. So then let's just put this up here, folding down the edge again so that when I do stitch it down, it'll kind of match up with the seam that's already there. And I'll just be able to maybe, you know, whip stitch it along. I could even do like a blanket stitch on the whole thing at the end, which might be a nice touch to tie it all together if I did a blanket stitch maybe. One of the colors, maybe the burgundy color, even this brown color, just to tie it all together. But that's certainly not a today problem. It's just a thinking out loud problem, I guess. Okay, let's take some tea dyed. Let's give it a rip. This is pretty ripe, this stuff. This is an old tablecloth maybe? Old pillowcase, not sure. This one we're gonna see through quite a bit, so I need to maybe be really mindful of this. Maybe this is a spot where a doily's gonna go, because it is pretty thin, this one. I think I want it to go this way. Let's see what it looks like if I put it this way. Do I want it to overlap like that? No, I don't. I don't like that. Let's see, do I want it to just overlap? Maybe I don't want it to overlap. Maybe I want this one overlapping. The decisions, hey? Can I make this go all the way to the bottom with a little, not quite, too much of a wrap. Maybe let's make it a little skinnier. And can I make it go to the bottom? And make this fit. Shoot, maybe I cut it too short. Maybe that's too much white. Off-white, whatever color this is. Let's look at dropping this in here. No, underneath. Remember I talked about that, underneath. This on top. I don't like how it equals up there though, so maybe I just need to bring it down a little bit. That's not bad, hey? That's not bad. Let's put a couple pins in here. I think when I start to stitch, a good idea might be to put a little bit of cardboard inside the purse so that I don't stitch through to the other side and stitch the purse closed, because that wouldn't be my best plan. Okay, let's try some white. Straight up white here. So you get the idea. I'm going to cover the front first. And then I will move on to the back. Locking down colors is always a trick for me. I overthink it. I do. I overthink it. Let me know. Am I the only one out there that overthinks it? Probably not. Probably not. I don't like that. I'm gonna need some more colors, I think. Am I gonna be able to just do it all with these colors? Hard to say. Okay, I'm gonna make that be the last one for now. Don't want to bore you to death. So you get the picture. I'm gonna keep laying down colors, laying down pieces. I will do a running stitch on it, and I will come back and show you when I get this side finished. Thinking I'm gonna put one of these in the corner down here, the white on top. Something like that. Maybe some more of this red color down the bottom. See, like, you know, something at the, but then that looks too square to me. Oh, it's gonna take some time. Anyway, you can see where I'm going with this. I'll be back once I get it figured out. See you soon. Bye. All right, wake up, Patty. Here I am back just to show you how I've stitched down everything. I think in the last little bit when we were talking and I was showing you, I didn't have these brown colors. So I found that I didn't have enough, so I brought in these brown colors to kind of tie it all together. So the front side is done. For front is all stitched down. I've left a little bit loose on the sides here because I need to come around to the sides and bring some of the back colors forward and bring some of the front ones back, I guess. So my plan is now to go back now, and it will be to lay down the material on this side and then figure out how I'm going to do these seams. That's going to be the challenge for me, is to figure out these seams. I think I'm just going to have pieces lap over on either side. Anyway, there it is. I'm going to move on to the back. And then when it's all done, I'll come back and I'll show you. And then during that next little bit, maybe I can figure out how to lay some doilies on here. So like I said before, I like to go one way and sometimes I like to go back in and go the other way. I just love that feel. So I did that in some spots, not all the spots, but I did it in some spots just to give it that extra texture. So there's side one. These sides aren't completely tucked down yet so that they can flap over to the other side. I'll go finish up the back and then I'll come back and show you. And then maybe what we can do is figure out how to lay some doilies on here. That would actually look pretty cool, I think. Some sort of, maybe even if it's just on one corner. Anyway, see you shortly. Bye. Hi, I'm back. Here we are. It is all stitched. And I absolutely love it. I whip stitched along the top edge. And I whip stitched along all the bottom edge. I love it. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. Here's the second side. And now I want to put one of these on here. I think it blends in too much with this side because I've been thinking about it a little bit. So I want to put it on this side where I have more dark because it actually looks quite nice on the darker space. So I'm going to take the time, and I haven't decided if I just want a little bit. And maybe it'll wrap around the corner and I'll cut it off. Or if I want the full one, what do you think? It's probably easier if I just do the whole one. So I want to put that on there. And then I've cut some of this. I've cut a long length of this. And I just want to tie a bow that will sit and hang off of this strap. So that's my plan. I'm going to stitch this down. I'm going to take this piece of this material and make a bow that's going to, oh, strings everywhere, tie around a strap and just hang from here. This is just a quick example of what I'm going to do, and then let it hang. I just have it doubled right now because I wasn't sure, but I'll probably make it single and then just let it hang. Okay, so I'll go off and stitch this. I'll go off and play with this. And then at the end of the video, I will post pictures of the final bag finished. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Bye.